Good Friday morning and welcome to Kramer's Corner with daily technical update. It is Friday the 23rd of February, looking forward to the weekend. The day after Nvidia announced earnings and a massive rise in profit. What was interesting was that to start with, it dipped a little bit lower below its previous all-time highs, very close to testing it. They close here, so maybe that potential top reversal pattern was in play, but that was really fast put to shame, and market sent Nvidia up with 16% and a change. Cancelling this top reversal pattern unless we see a total collapse in Nvidia today, which I really don't think we'll do. And we are very close to 800. I think we'll move higher in coming weeks. So very strong move there, really. That also helped S&P 500, amongst others, moving higher to all-time high, just below 5,100. I had a previous target of 5,110 around that, but it seems like we could move higher. And if we look at the weekly chart here, where we had this cup and handle-like pattern, well, then there is a potential higher, very close to here. We have the 5,110. The 50% of the cup pattern there, well, that's around 5,165, but we could move higher to the 61.8 at 5,300. But let's see when we get to that. But for now, the uptrend is intact, despite there being some divergence on the RSI. So there's still some warning signals, but the trend is still moving up, and we should respect that. More or less the same picture on Nasdaq, of course. But we didn't make a new high, just a few cents from all-time highs. But let's see, probably today or early next week. Uptrend, and it was very much in danger here, but it did close a few cents above the other day. So now we have gapped up here, and I think we'll move higher here in coming weeks. On the EUROSTOXX 50. Then also shot higher. We have, let's zoom in a little bit. So we actually we are looking at 5,000 maybe. Could we reach that? That's the day. That's a little bit debatable, but there is a very strong uptrend at the moment. So we could see that, which is actually just below the 200% of this correction phase there back we saw last year. So very close to. We also finally got DAX to get its mojo back together and jumped higher. And also here we could see a move towards 17,700. Probably someone will try to push it to 18,000, but let's see if they can actually hold up to that. Still divergence on the RSI on daily, but a very strong uptrend, so it could be cancelled. And again, we should trust the trend. That is the most important one. The AX Amsterdam, yeah, it spiked higher, but couldn't really keep up momentum. Of course, ASML was one of the high flyers yesterday. Some profit taking today. It is very stretched, the Amsterdam index, but it's still in an uptrend. Belgian market, on the other hand, doesn't really. It's fairly boring, I would say. I don't know if I will ever talk about it again, because it's really just trading sideways around the 3,700. CAC 40 also shot higher, and testing the 138.2 projection of this correction phase here, looking at 8,000, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see the daily RSI actually broke above the falling trend line down here. So it could actually demolish or cancel this divergence picture here, and I wouldn't be too surprised if that materializes. And 161.8 is at 8,080 level, so that's a little bit higher there, but it's not unlikely within the next week or two, because market really got lifted all across the board more or less yesterday. Swiss market still struggling a little bit, hasn't taken out that top and reversal pattern. So is it forming a double top pattern, or can it actually move higher towards 11,500 and 11,730 is the really strong resistance on that one. Euro dollar, I don't know what I should say about your dollar at the moment. After this spike up yesterday, it's really a bit directionless, I would say. Back below the 200 moving average. However, we have the 100 coming up there, so it is actually on the rise. We have 200 slightly rising, and we have the 55 also slightly rising. So, but it's very indecisive at that moment. We have negative sentiment on the RSI, so it's really a tug of war here. And I want to see it above 109 before I think, and I want to see it close above that level until I really say, okay, then we are in a bullish mode. So for now, I will be in a wait and see moment. So it's really not. Sometimes it's not easy to read the market, and in this case, your dollar is not. Cable is a little bit easier. It spiked above the 127 resistance there, so we are still in this range. Negative sentiment on the RSI. It's really struggling here. So still, I want to see a close above or a close below 125.30 for any direction. Dollar yen slowly ticking higher, still 149.75 is the key support. It should move up to 152, and I think it will do in the coming weeks, but it seems like it's really slow moving and it's really struggling at the moment. So there are other yen pairs that are more on the move, like Euro yen reached the 138.2, but I think we'll see a move up to around 164.30, which is the previous peak here from November, and it's also around the 161.8 projection of this little correction here. So we should see it move up today, and then possibly a correction after that. There's no divergence on the RSI, so it's supporting the bullish view. Aussie yen moving higher and above resistance here at 98.70. Struggling a little bit around 98 and a change just below 99. Just touched it this morning. We could see a little bit of correction, but I'm not too worried with the trend unless we break back below 97.90 or 92 around here. We're still in a bullish sentiment or positive sentiment with no divergence at all, so we should see a move towards the 100 level. If we would reach 100 is debatable, but it will be very close to, I believe. Sterling yen also pushing higher towards 191 and a quarter. I think we will see it towards 192 and a half, around that, and then we should see a correction, still trading above this rising trend line, but a little bit of a correction could be seen before a move higher. No divergence on the RSI, I think, no, and we are in a positive sentiment, so it looks fairly strong on the sterling yen. Dollar Canada, really interesting here. Dip below the lower rising trend line, actually a little bit below. But if we cheat a little bit, and that's how it is with these rising and falling trend lines, they are not 100% accurate all the time. Then we are actually closed above, but we also closed above the 200 moving average. We are trading now above the rising trend line here, so we could and should see a move higher on dollar Canada. However, you can see the 100 moving average kind of putting a lid over there, so it will be a little bit of a struggle. So basically we could end up trading range bound between 134 and 136 for quite some time, but look out for these levels. Excuse me. Aussie dollar couldn't really get up and test the key resistance at 66 and a quarter, sliding lower back here maybe. If it moves back below the 65.20, well, then we are likely to resuming downtrend. And finally, the dollar index. Well, it's almost like euro dollar, isn't it? It's a dip below there, spike below, but now we are trading around on 100 moving average, which is declining. So also a little bit directionless. We are in a corrective phase, I think, but still, it's not really convincing. And I think we could be range bound here for around the 104, between 103, 104 and a quarter, 104 and a half for the next week or so. Gold got rejected at the 2035 level a couple of days ago. let's do that. There we are. That was actually the 61.8 retracement of this downtrend here, and now I think we will have a move back down to the 61.8 retracement here at just above 2,000. If we move low below the 100 moving average, then it's more troublesome more trouble ahead for gold. But last time it actually did add some support to it, and I think we could see that again. So maybe a little dip down there, and then we will be caught range bound really. Silver can't really do anything. It got knocked down again after reaching 23.5, and I think we could then see it being testing the 22 or 21.90 once again. Copper also lost momentum. Not surprisingly, we talked about that. You can see it can't really get up there, and it really needs to get up towards 400 for really some building some really solid uptrend. On the energy side, not much to say about oil after it got crude oil, WTI crude oil got rejected at 79.77. Expected to be range bound here, but if it does break above that, closes above, well, then we have a very swift move towards 82.5, possibly higher. More or less the same picture on Brent, just humming away sideways, not really much direction. You need a break above 84.75. Finally, on the US 10-year, slowly ticking higher, reached the 138.2 at 4.35%, but there is potential up to 444, possibly up to 450 if it really can close above the 438. We are in a bullish trend without no divergence on the RSI. All right. That was a long one, sorry about that. Lots of stuff to talk about. Read my article on NVIDIA, and there will be more out on the US and the European main indices a little bit later. Have a nice day, have a nice weekend, and happy trading.